Messiah, and welcome back to Falcon Update on YBTV. I'm Josh McLeaf.
And I'm Reed Milliken. Josh, how are you?
You know, it's Monday, it's YBTV. I don't think I can be even better than I am right now.
That's right.
I'm so excited to be here. How are you doing?
Great. Well, Josh, I'm doing cash money. And speaking of, Messiah students received an email this past week regarding a delay in the availability of the 2024 to 2025 free application for federal student aid. The United States Department of Education is implementing significant changes to FAFSA, which has made the exact date it will become available unknown. The current estimate is sometime in December, but that time frame could be delayed further by the possible U.S. government shutdown. Students are asked to look for emails from the Messiah University Financial Aid Department for updates and information on how you can be prepared to apply once FAFSA becomes available.
Tower Road was shut down this morning for the delivery of a new radio tower to be installed behind Kelly Apartments. It arrived in various pieces via tractor trailer and is expected to be installed in the coming weeks. The new tower will be used by Cumberland County for emergency service communications. Stay tuned to YBTV for more information on future road closures and construction on campus.
Messiah's Asian Student Association held their Harvest Moon Festival this past Friday on Bittner Beach. Attendees could celebrate by gathering with friends to moon gaze, light paper lanterns, and enjoy mooncakes and tea. The celebration is an opportunity to give thanks to the fall harvest and pray for longevity and good fortune.
On the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. It's usually just a time of gathering with friends and family, and we celebrate by cutting mooncakes and just eating that. We hope that people would just have a good time of fellowship with one another, have good conversation, and hopefully learn a little bit about the Harvest Moon Festival.
Events just like this one all year round, so be sure to stay tuned to YBTV or follow @MessiahU_ASA on Instagram to stay updated.
Artificial intelligence and the ethics behind it has been a hot topic as of late, and I had the opportunity to join members of the Messiah Business Institute to learn more about the future of AI from futurist Bruce McCabe. The Messiah Business Institute, a group made of off-campus businesses and organizations that's designed to build a thriving business community here in central Pennsylvania.
It's a collection of for-profit businesses that get together once a quarter, and we have events for the business community to come in. We've had people here from the Federal Reserve talking about the economy. We've had business owners talk about succession planning. We've had entrepreneurs of all different flavors, if you will, focused on best practices, in this case focused on the future.
One of those emerging topics is something that has found its way into industries from marketing to healthcare, artificial intelligence.
At one point in time, everyone thought that artificial intelligence would come and take maybe blue-collar jobs or manufacturing jobs and other kinds of things, and it turns out that it's impacting a lot of white-collar jobs, a lot of service industry jobs unexpectedly. So businesses, we got feedback from our corporate sponsors, from the business community that, hey, artificial intelligence is something that they'd like to learn more about.
Enter Dr. Bruce McCabe, a futurist, or as ChatGPT defines it, a person who specializes in the study and prediction of future trends, developments, and possibilities across various domains. Dr. McCabe believes that AI isn't being developed to replace jobs or services. Rather, he believes it's being developed to help employers rethink their business models.
We really try to get a cross-section of speakers that are interesting to the business community, talking about things that they're dealing with.
Students were able to boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance this past Saturday at Messiah's homecoming dance. Subject to delectable dining, dynamite dancing, and an opportunity to meet this year's homecoming court nominees. King and Queen of the court will be announced Saturday during the women's soccer game at halftime. Voting is open now for students.
Messiah's Multicultural Council held their first open council of the year this past Thursday. This council's focus was on the mending gap, the gap referred to as the lack of social solidarity across racial groups. Attendees enjoyed snacks, joined like-minded people, and group discussions, answering thought-provoking questions regarding social solidarity.
Council is discussing racial solidarity. We're calling it Mending the Gap. This event is our first open council, and open councils, usually we just pick a topic of discussion and we might have like a panel come in, we might have group discussions. It's obviously a topic on racial issues that we think is pertinent to the community, and I hope that people take away a feeling of safety on campus and a safety that they can carry with them everywhere.
MCC holds open councils just like this one all year round, so be sure to stay tuned to YBTV or follow at M-U Multicultural Council on Instagram to stay updated.
In celebration of National Hispanic Heritage Month, MCC's La Alianza Latina Club held an adoptee panel to share the stories of 3 Messiah students who were adopted. Each panelist recounted their struggle with self-identity and cultural reconnection throughout the process of being adopted.
Something I felt really passionate about, and our president, Gabby, was very supportive of it during Hispanic Heritage Month. She wanted each to have like our own thing to do during this time. It gave me a chance to like connect with the people, so I felt passionate about this.
To actually see it come to fruition and get to meet other wonderful adoptees, like that's a blessing to be able to have, and just definitely seeing that door opened, hopefully lead to then future conversations and future meetings with other adoptees. It was just an amazing night to be able to have and be a part of.
LAL will continue to hold events throughout the rest of National Hispanic Heritage Month, so be sure to stay tuned to YBTV or follow at La Alianza Latina on Instagram to stay updated.
Reed, those were some pretty great stories, and I think we've got a lot more great content coming your way, so stay right here. We'll be right back after the break.
Who Will Carry the Word is a play written by Charlotte Delbo. It is about 21 women on a female concentration camp during the Holocaust, specifically the French Resistance. There are many themes of suicide and violence and how these people were treated, and essentially who amongst these women was going to come back and actually be able to leave the concentration camp to carry the word of all the women and how they died. What's unique about the show is it's done in the round, so that means the audience is on all 4 sides of the actors of the stage. That creates a more immersive experience for the audience. It was such a big, tragic thing that happened in history. We want to make people feel a little bit uncomfortable, make them feel like they're a part of the world so they can understand and create change, because anti-Semitism is still real today. You hear about synagogues being threatened in Texas or in Pennsylvania even, all over the place. And so we see the oppression that the world faces today, and that can go for any minority, really. And our department decided, yes, this is a show worth telling, a story worth telling. And the way to grow is to get familiar with the uncomfortable. I believe this show will impact people's lives and spark a change in society. The shows are October 5th through 7th at 8 p.m. and October 8th at 3 p.m.
4, 3.
Welcome back to Falcon Update. I'm Josh McLeaf.
And I'm Reed Milliken. It's October, and somehow it's 80 degrees. Josh, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, we really were enjoying those 60-degree, 50-degree temperatures, like the past week or so. It was dry. I thought we were finally kind of out of the woods from summer, once we got past those 90-degree days, in September and everything. But, I mean, the 80s are making a comeback. So I feel like I'm just going to get them all at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and it's unfortunate. I'm ready to wear my sweaters. I'm ready for Josh McLeaf cardigan season.
I do
I'm
look
ready.
in the cardigan, I gotta say.
It's very
I'm glad
true.
you agree.
It's very true. I'm excited for that. But yeah, and you know what? Let's just see what Jessica Fannin has to say about this week's forecast. Jessica?
Jessica Fannin. Let's take a look at what the weather is right now. So right now we're sitting at about 74 degrees and it is sunny. Today's high was 81 and our low will be 59. There was a 0% chance of rain today and our dew point was about 59 degrees. Let's take a look at this week's surface map. So as you can see, there are a lot of fronts moving across the United States right now, but none of them are really in our region. However, you can see these blue H's that are above us. That just indicates that there's going to be some high air pressure that will bring some light winds and some pretty calm weather. So we're going to have a nice forecast for this week. Let's take a look at our temperatures. So as you can see, there's a lot of orange and yellow on our map right now, and that just means that we're going to have a lot of warm weather this week. We are in the portion of the map that is a darker orange, so we will be in the high 70s, low 80s for our temperature. Let's take a look at our humidity. So as you can see, we are going to start the week at about 58% humidity on Monday and Tuesday, and that is going to quickly increase to about 72% on Friday. So it's going to start out a little bit crisper, but by the end of the week, it will be very humid. So let's take a look at this week's Tuesday forecast. So as you can see, there is a lot of sun and it's going to be beautiful. So we're going to start out at about 59 degrees and it's going to quickly increase to about 82 by 3 p.m. There's not much to look out for Tuesday. It's going to be basically a very beautiful day. So let's take a look at this whole week's forecast. So like I said, Tuesday is going to be very sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 68. Wednesday will also be sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 57. Thursday will be partly cloudy with a high of 76 and a low of 61. You want to look out for Friday and Saturday because Friday has about a 50% chance of rain and it will have a high of 74 and a low of 56. Saturday will have a 60% chance of rain with a high of 64 and a low of 46. Sunday will finish the week with a partly sunny day with a high of 61 and a low of 41. So as you can see, this week is going to be a little bit of a range in weather. There's going to be a lot of sun and a little bit of rain, so make sure you get outside and enjoy those sunny days. That's all for this week's Falcon Forecast. I'm Jessica Fannin.
Absolutely spectacular dew point coverage, Jessica. Hopefully this time next week it'll be feeling a little more like fall.
That's right. And Kelly Ganey is back with the vault. Let's see what she unlocks for us this week.
Thanks, guys. So this week, I decided to catch up with my friend Alex in the archives to check out her new exhibit featuring international students and their history. Let's go take a look. Hey, Alex, can I come see your new exhibit?
Yeah, of course. The first international students arrived at Messiah in the early 1910s. Mishak Krikorian is one of those students. He came to Messiah and did not complete his degree here, but went on to another school and eventually was ordained as a minister in the Brethren of Christ congregation. He wrote extensively about his experience as an international student. I am Armenian American, so hearing about these first international students at Messiah being Armenian was really exciting to me because it was a way to link my heritage to my school, which I don't have any relatives who've ever attended here. So after learning about Mishak's story and his peers' story, I wanted to know a little bit more about the other students who've come to Messiah over the years from other countries, because we have a thriving international student population now, and it had to start somewhere, and you don't go from 3 students to several hundred. So I really wanted to see, how do we fill in the gap? Every student group on this campus has a story, and that story deserves to be understood and told. And looking back at all of these individual experiences of students and larger narratives about organizations and studies of the needs and wants and frustrations of international students helps us get a better perspective on the way that Messiah can respond to the needs of our international students today.
This week, Emma Dingus and Nate Harlacker asked students and faculty to show us their best dance move. Let's see it.
Featuring...
Oh hey, didn't see you there. I'm Emma Dingus, and this week's Talking on the Street, we're supposed to bust it down. Please, please, Brandon, please, please.
No.
Well, those were some rockin' moves, but I have to say, I think Dr. Ark takes the cake on the best ones. For YBTV, I'm Emma Dingus.
Oh, Josh, we're live. Go on. Okay, sorry, so sorry. With it being homecoming this weekend, there is a lot going on for students to take part in. Sarah Marshall brings you this week's campus calendar.
Welcome, Messiah University. I'm Sarah Marshall, and you're watching this week's edition of Campus Calendar.
Let's take a look at some of the events taking place on campus this week. On Tuesday, if you happen to be considering changing your major, then you're in luck. The CPDC is hosting a pop-up event for students considering a major change. Pop in any time between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. at the Eisenhower Commons for helpful advice from CPDC staff. Thursday, the Messiah Poets and Writers Reading Series is hosting Dion Irving, author and Penn Faulkner Award finalist, who will be giving a fiction reading from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the High Center in the High Foundation Recital Hall. Don't miss out on book signings that will be held afterward in Steinbrecher Atrium. Then the play Who Will Carry the Word, presented by the Department of Theater and Dance, opens from 8 p.m. and ends at 10 p.m. and will be held at Kleimenhagen in the Poor Man Black Box Theater. Shows will run from Thursday through Saturday, as well as one showing at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Tickets range between $10 to $7 with opening night tickets, buy one, get one free. Then on Friday, for those of you who will be dressed in your Spirit Week colors, SGA will be handing out free Celsius drinks and snacks on the Union patio between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Also, be sure to be on the lookout for the Pulse's first Swinging Bridge magazine launch of the semester. You can find the magazine's September edition and bonus stickers at a pop-up table outside of the Agape Center between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. And that's all she wrote for this segment, folks. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Campus Calendar. For YBTV, I'm Sarah Marshall.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll be sure to check out some of those Messiah events.
Our time is up, Josh, but why don't you say we continue that dance party after the break?
I would love nothing more. Coming up, James and PJ have sports for you. Hang on, we'll be right back.
My name is Macy Thornton. I'm a senior and I'm a public relations major. I was initially drawn to the public relations major because I've always been great with people and the skills are very transferable. One thing that's definitely unique to Messiah is that they teach from a Christian perspective, and I've been able to use that in internships and those types of opportunities. The professors are great, they're very approachable, and they genuinely want to see you succeed. I'm involved in athletics in that I'm on the Messiah women's basketball team, and it's been one of the most enriching experiences of my life. I'm in a class called Senior PR Campaign, and we're working for an actual nonprofit organization off campus, so we're helping them with some PR related things, and it's just really great to actually put theory into practice and to feel like you're making a difference even though you're still in school. And I also had the opportunity to do an internship with a minor league baseball team. PR practitioners have to conduct themselves ethically. They have to have integrity. They have to be honest and transparent with the people they work with. So ethics is a big part of public relations. I believe Christian PR practitioners are called to hold themselves to a higher standard because of their beliefs, and that should show in their professional life. I feel very prepared with regard to the experiences I've had, the internship opportunities I've had, and the knowledge I have that the PR major has given me and the skills I've attained through it.
Welcome back to Falcon Update right here on YBTV. It's time to get caught up on Messiah University Athletics with YBTV Sports. I'm PJ Rydell.
And I'm James Hellman. It's been a big past week in sports across the board, PJ. How about both of our teams getting into the MLB playoffs?
Yeah, you love to see it, James. It's good to see our teams winning after long playoff droughts, but their only winners I'm concerned about this week are the Falcons.
Okay, fair enough. The Falcons always seem to be providing their fans with a good show, and the fans sure have brought the energy this fall too. The new student section leaders, the Blue Crew, have been doing their part to ramp up student support for Messiah's teams. Here's Caleb Kukin with the story.
Remember these guys?
At the end of the first. And you see the milk sitting there in the student section. Fortunately, I had the opportunity to go down and talk to them during the half. And when I asked them why they're doing it, they simply responded with, why not? And it's hard to argue with that.
Kicks out to Cameron Smith, and that three is short and into the Milkmen.
This is the Calcium Cartel, who last year stole the show in the Messiah student section. These group of guys led to the creation of an official Messiah student section this year known as the Blue Crew, who are in charge of leading the student section and doing special giveaways. But what is the point of an official Messiah student section, you may ask?
Yeah, like the athletics department has noticed a lot of deficits since COVID and student section involvement, and we really wanted to just like get it back to where it was before and even better, and just so people have that experience that they can go to.
It seemed to have worked pretty well so far, as there is a noticeable increase in student attendance at games where the Blue Crew is doing special giveaways. The increase has made for a better sports atmosphere for everyone.
We just want to get people out, come out to the games, have fun. Yeah, we're really trying to build the student experience.
Whether you're a sports fanatic or not, the Blue Crew certainly has a way of bringing in all types of students. You may also be wondering, does this mean no calcium cartel? Well, it looks like our favorite milk cartons will still be around as part of this new Blue Crew. For YBTV, I'm Caleb Kukin.
You know, I don't know about you, PJ, but I'm looking forward to seeing what some of the other giveaways they'll have in store this year.
It's going to be interesting to see what they've got, and to think that it all started with just some milk carton costumes. Who would have thought?
I know I wouldn't have, but you know what I do think, PJ? I think it's time for some highlights. Let's take a look at this week's Falcon 4. To get things started, the Messiah women's volleyball team hosted a tri-match against Lebanon Valley College and Rosemont College. The Falcons started off the day against the Dutchmen of Lebanon Valley, where in the middle of the first set, Falcons middle Cheney Barnhart gave the Falcons control. Here we see the Falcons lining up for the serve. And that serve's going to go over, bump, sets it back row, but the back row hit, no chance. Cheney Barnhart, like she's been doing all year, blocks it right down the middle. And we're going to take one more look at that. A really good back row set here by Lebanon Valley, but when Cheney Barnhart's in the middle, she's been a brick wall all season, nothing you can do there. She had 7 blocks on the day, leading both teams, and the Falcons would finish the weekend with a 3-1 win over Lebanon Valley and a 3-0 win over Rosemont. The sweep of the tri-match gets the Falcons back in the win column after a loss last Tuesday to Stevenson.
Speaking of getting back in the win column, the women's soccer team has bounced back after back-to-back losses to McDaniel and William Smith earlier this season, as they're riding a 3-game win streak. The latest win in that stretch, or the second latest win I should say, featured a highlight from Julia Martin against Dickinson on Wednesday. Crosstown rivalry with the Red Devils. Here a corner opportunity from Bella Tuzo. The Falcons already leading by 1. Tuzo lets it fly into the box, and out of nowhere Julia Martin into 2 defenders to head that one in. Let's take a look at Martin's journey to the goal there. She's right at the top of the box, spins, loses a defender, finds her way through a couple more, and then into the box, over 2 defenders. Boom, right into the back of the net. Falcons lead 2-0, and that would be your final. With the goal, Julia Martin leads the team in goals with 4 and points with 8. The women's soccer team is now 7-2 on the season, and they travel to DeSales tomorrow night for their next match.
The men's soccer team also came away with a big win on Wednesday night over Lycoming College, where Ben Vollmer, Matt McDonald, and Sam Phillips worked some magic for our next highlight. Here, the Falcons have a free kick. Going to start it off with a bit of trickery, confusing the Lycoming Warriors as to who's actually going to take the free kick, but it ends up being Vollmer who's going to send it into the box, and Matt McDonald with a beautiful cross back across net, and there you see Sam Phillips for the goal. Look at that again. Really good free kick, and Matt McDonald with the vision to see it back across the box, and Sam Phillips with a great tap in. For Sam Phillips, that's goal number 5 of his rookie season with the Falcons, which leads the team. The men's soccer team remains undefeated with a 9-0-1 record, and they'll play Penn State Harrisburg tomorrow night before returning home on Saturday as both women's and men's soccer host Widener for the homecoming doubleheader.
It's our #1 nationally ranked men's soccer team right there. Another nationally ranked team, our final highlight of the night, comes from a battle of 2 nationally ranked squads as the #4 ranked Messiah field hockey team hosted the #12 ranked Rowan University on Wednesday night. It was scoreless at halftime, a tight one, but the Falcons and Ellie Lefevre showed why they're a top 5 team in that second half. The Falcons rattled off 3 goals in the second half, already up 1-0 here in the second. Just about 5 minutes left to go in the second. Making a good turnover there by the Falcon defense. Megan North gets it, flicks over. Ellie Lefevre 1-on-1 with the goalie, stood no chance. Let's take a look at that one again as the Falcons turn defense into offense. Lefevre, again, she's got the 1-on-1. The goalie sells out, and in the end of the day, it's Lefevre and the Falcons coming away with the win as the heavyweight tilt ended in a 3-0 victory, as Lefevre would go on to tack on yet another goal for good measure. The Falcons are 8-1 in their next matchup is on homecoming Saturday to open conference play for the season.
Another great week of highlights for us here on YBTV Sports, and make sure to go to the YBTV Sports Instagram to vote for your favorite play tomorrow. I can only imagine what our teams will have in store for us this upcoming week.
I'm certainly looking forward to this upcoming week. As we've said, a lot of good matchups for homecoming. There's always a special energy about those homecoming games with all the great alumni and past players in the stands rooting on the current Falcons. There's just nothing like it.
We'll bring you all those highlights next week, but for now, that's all for Falcon Update here on YBTV. I'm James Hellman, and that's PJ Rydell for YBTV Sports. Stay tuned for YB Tonight coming up next, right here on Yellow Breeches Television.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Oh, hey, Eve.
I was gonna go to Union for lunch. Wanna come?
Yeah. Wait, I've eaten at the Union 3 times already this week. How many is that in a month? Okay, let's see. There's the chicken tenders that one day. The pizza, that wasn't too bad. I don't even want to think about the muscle milk. My RA warned me about this, but I never thought I'd actually have to take his advice. I mean, no one ever does that. Okay, don't panic. How many dining dollars do I have? Curse that muscle milk! Okay, Mark, forget it. Opportunities like this come only once in a lifetime. Think high risk, high reward. What's a little more debt, right? I mean, come on. Okay, now, tell her you want to.
Dude. She left like 10 minutes ago.
Good evening and welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm Julia Kropp and I'm your host for tonight. First, we will have a performance by Sydney Schappell. She will be singing for us. After I interview Sydney, Cameron Fisher and Nick Hogue will sit down with me and talk about their floor hockey pickup league. But before we move on, this week we are taking a break from Beyond the Breeches with Jessica Fannin. So before this next break, let's take a look at a yoga event that was hosted on campus over the weekend.
Helping with mobility, flexibility, and strengthening, and that's why I really enjoy it. I feel like it benefits me in more of a holistic way, more mindful of how my body's feeling. They felt a lot of stress relief. They can kind of escape from the stress of school, and they can feel better about themselves altogether.
My name is Natalie Moy. I'm a senior and I'm a digital media major.
I feel like the classes here have helped me to train my eye to detect good design. I like how the professors don't force you into one way of thinking. Instead, they allow you to be creative and think of projects in your own way, and they will guide you and help you envision your project to make it even better and stronger. I have this one professor who starts off his classes with prayers, and I feel like that's really great because it starts us off reminding us that we are creating something for God, so we have that in our minds to create something that He will be pleased with. In my portfolio, I have quite a large variety of works. I have design-based works, I have photography, I have videography. One of the big projects I'll be expecting in my portfolio would be from the junior-senior film class that I'm taking this semester. I'll be the production designer for this short film, and I'm looking forward to work with my crew because they're all awesome people. Messiah has this media hub called The Pulse, so I've been working for them for the past few months, and you can do stuff like designing, photography, videography, the radio station, and you can even design websites, write articles. I think it's a really great opportunity for me to get my work out there. I'm a designer, so people on campus or even off campus get to see what I do, and I think that's really great. So if you're a digital media student, you could go into computer science fields, or you could go into the film industries or graphic design. I guess it's the beauty of digital media, it's just so versatile.
Welcome back. I'm here with Sydney Schappell, who will sing us a song for us. Let's hear it, Sydney.
When I walk in the kitchen, my heart hits the floor, 'cause it's you that I'm missing. I still see a vision of us cooking dinner and you holding me from behind. And you say, please be careful, the knife is so big and we can't have another ER trip. We're too young and too dumb, too in love to afford it. And now it's just me and 100 square feet of bittersweet memories. Deleted the playlist, but I still hear all your favorite melodies. Strangers to lovers to enemies. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone. But I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows. Could have at least shown me some decency, done me a favor and packed up your clothes. Falling in love, no, it ain't for the weak. So don't try this at home. The couch that we sat on back in New York has made its way 3,000 miles to LA. And these pillows been talking, asking me, where have you been? Told me you loved me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over. But who would have known that the falling would come to an end? And now it's just me and 100 square feet of bittersweet memories. Deleted the playlist, but I still hear all your favorite melodies. Strangers to lovers to enemies. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone. But I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows. You could have at least shown me some decency, done me a favor and packed up your clothes. Falling in love, no, it ain't for the weak. So don't try this at home.
Thank you so much, Sydney. That was amazing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
A student would want to study the finance major here at Messiah for several reasons. Students here are working and practicing in a setting in our finance lab with technology that they're going to use when they leave here and work in the field. And so our students are certified in Bloomberg. In addition, in several classes, our students are actually performing consulting projects with local financial and investing firms.
I think the biggest thing that surprised me about coming for the finance major here was just the scope that you get in all the different classes. So anything from corporate finance to portfolio management and security analysis, you touch on everything. Getting into investment club was something I really was looking forward to coming here to Messiah. I knew from very early on I wanted to get involved.
There's nothing wrong with going out, being successful, making money, but not allowing money to have a higher place in your life than God. So our goal is to get our students started off on their career path quicker and better positioned than any of their peers.
Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Forests bring people together, feed the soul, and improve our well-being, cleaning the water we need, the air we breathe, and making our climate livable. Fires and natural disasters devastate our forests each year. That's why the Arbor Day Foundation is working to replant millions of trees across the country. Visit arborday.org and see how you can help.
Welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm your host, Julia Kropp, and I'm here with Sydney Schappell. Sydney, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll just jump right in. What inspired you to do this specific song tonight?
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorites that I began listening to during quarantine. And it was just kind of an easy one to put together that kind of helped me get less stressed out about the whole thing in general. So, yeah, that's kind of why I picked it.
Oh, that's awesome, and it sounded amazing.
Oh, thanks.
How did you get started with singing and playing the keyboard in the first place?
Yeah, so my parents put me in private voice lessons when I was like 7 or 8. I was always like very chatty child and was always singing and dancing and doing stuff around the house. And my parents were like, how can we channel this energy into something productive? So that was what they did. And I got started singing in school and things outside of school. And then over quarantine, actually, I started teaching myself the keyboard just as like something to do, something to practice. So yeah, I kind of picked it up from there. Originally it was just, I was able to sing but not play anything. So I was like, I might as well learn something that I can play with myself. So yeah, that's why I picked it all up.
So cool, and you taught yourself. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually not as hard as it sounds, so.
I don't know. So you're graduating soon. Do you have any plans to incorporate these talents into your career, or is it just kind of a side thing?
Yeah, Yeah, my parents really wanted me to major in something music related, but I was afraid like the more and more you like make that your life, you can like burn out. And it's always been kind of like my passion and something that's been a stress reliever for me. So I actually decided to keep it as kind of like a hobby. I'm a political science major, so right now I'm in the process of like applying for law school. So I kind of plan to keep it as more of like a hobby and a stress reliever, and less of like what's adding to my stress every day.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad thing. And how do you incorporate your talents into your faith?
Sure, yeah. I was asked a couple years ago to assist with worship leading at my home church. There was like a lull in like an actual paid worship leader on staff. So it was like my freshman year here. They asked me to help pick up some couple Sundays where there was nobody in the church to lead the worship. And then after that, it became a paid position. And then eventually I actually turned it over to my brother, who now leads worship there, which is super, super cool. I had a lot of commitments that were keeping me from being able to come home on Sundays to lead worship. So yeah, leading worship here on both our worship community and our core team, as well as at my home church has been really, really nice. It's like something that like helps me continue to like practice my skills and keeps me from losing them, but also gives me a really great outlet to kind of worship through my music as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you're a part of 7. How has that been?
Yeah.
Like for you?
Yeah, it's been a really incredible experience. I auditioned for it kind of like on a whim, not thinking I had like any shot of getting in, and was lucky enough to be offered a spot, which has been one of the greatest blessings. My team from that summer and I are still super, super close, so we talk almost every day. And it gave me, like I spent the whole summer just like performing music, which is crazy, and I'm so unbelievably lucky to have even had an opportunity like that. So yeah, we would rehearse like every day, starting right after breakfast, and we'd go till around dinner time. And then we would travel and play and set up our own equipment and everything. So it really gave me like the full like band experience, which I had never really had before. So yeah, I'm still involved with it during the school year. Just some weekends we go away and play for retreats or camps or conferences, things like that. But yeah, it's been a really awesome experience.
That is so cool. Do you have a favorite memory from that group?
That's a good question.
Or a couple?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think one of my favorites was one of the camps that we went to. They'd like just not have the best food, and we would like eat dinner, and then we would get back to our like hotel room, and one of us would text in the group chat and be like, I'm starving, like I need to eat food right now. So it would be like 9:30 or 10, and we would all pile in the 7 van and leave and go find the closest like Wawa or McDonald's. Our favorite was Taco Bell. Anywhere there was a Taco Bell, we were there. And we would just get up and go grab Taco Bell in the middle of the night and then get up and perform a set the next morning, and we'd all be exhausted, but our stomachs were full of Taco Bell, so it was pretty good.
That's amazing. You know, you just got to do, I guess.
Exactly.
So with being in 7, did you gain any experience that you like didn't have, or did you learn anything from it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I had never been in the sort of thing where we were like rehearsing all day, every single day. And it was definitely something where I had to learn how to like, at the end of the day, realize I'm exhausted. I need to go back to my room and just like decompress until bed. Sometimes we'd have game nights, or we would go out thrifting or out bowling, and some nights I had to be like, guys, I love you, but I just like have to go and lay down in my bed. I'm a people person, but I'm definitely an introvert. Like I, at the end of the day, want nothing but to be by myself. So it definitely taught me to be okay with being like, guys, I can't come tonight, but I'll see you tomorrow morning. I gotta go take a nap and watch Netflix in my bed. But in a more business or musical sense, I guess, it gave me, like I said, like the full band experience. Like we were in charge of planning our sets. We were in charge of running our sets once we got there, set up, tear down tech, like all that stuff was our responsibility. And that was something I had never had any experience with before. So yeah, I know a lot more now than I did then, which is really awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like such a cool experience.
Yeah, it definitely was, for sure.
Okay, so I'm sure the audience is really dying to know if we can see you perform anytime soon. Do you have any upcoming performances?
I'm singing in chapel tomorrow. I don't
Perfect.
know if that really counts as a performance, but I pick up little things here and there. With senior year, I'm doing a lot of like extra things that I haven't done before, as far as preparing for grad school and like what comes after being here at Messiah. So I don't have as much lined up as I guess I typically would in a normal year, but yeah, I'll be in chapel tomorrow, and I'm in chapel every once in a while.
Perfect.
So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sydney.
Thank you for having me.
You did a great job today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Next up, we will sit down with some members of the Floor Hockey Pickup League right after this break.
I grew up creative, always drawing, Legos, played a ton of Legos from the time I could start putting them together. When I got into school, I thought I was going to be a painter, and then I thought I was going to be a graphic designer, but it wasn't until I took my first foundations of art class, 3D design, where I was carving a salt block, just a little carpenter chisel, and I stuck it underneath the water, and it kind of started deteriorating, and I loved it, and it felt comfortable, and it felt right, and that's when I realized that 3D is where I belong. Sculpture is what I needed to pursue. If you feel that passion in your belly, if you wake up and you got to make something, if you grab a paper clip and you manipulate it into some form, or you're doodling in your sketchbook, or everything you do you see through a more creative side, then listen to that spirit talking in you and follow it. And for that young artist, it's hard and it's difficult, but you got to just keep on doing it. You got to just keep on doing it. We were all there. We want to hang out with you. We want you to look over our shoulder and watch us cut this piece. Ask us that question. Don't be scared. Everybody has that starting point.
Thank you, Cameron and Nick, for joining us tonight. Let's jump right into it. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome.
Yeah?
We're good.
Perfect. So as co-founders of this new floor hockey pickup league, what inspired you to get started with this?
Yeah, so for me, I've been a hockey fan for about 9 years now, from 2015 till now. So I kind of just wanted to carry my passion of hockey through Messiah, and I had reached out to Nick over the summer, and I put it on the Messiah 27 Snapchat story to kind of gauge interest. And over the summer, there was a lot of interest, and I said, all right, let's make it happen. So,
Yeah, I haven't been into the hockey like as much as he has. During COVID was when I started getting into hockey and stuff, and I started playing around with my neighbors and stuff, a little street hockey. Never skated much, but when I saw his post for Messiah, I was like, wow, like this is gonna be like so much fun. Like let's do this and stuff, and then yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you need any experience to play in this league?
Not really. Like for me, I don't skate, so like, and we kind of made it as like a no skating. Like you can do floor like on foot and stuff, but like as long as you like have a stick or anything, and like we can like teach you and stuff. Like it's just for fun, like just to hang out, make new friends and stuff. So it's a great opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you said you needed a stick. Do you need any other equipment to join the team?
Only goalie equipment if you have it. Otherwise, like, we can supply it. But we do ask that if you want to form a team, that you have a designated goalie.
That makes sense. How often do you guys practice?
Well, it usually depends with, everyone's has different schedules with classes and stuff. So we usually try to fit at least 1 or 2 practices in a week, hopefully. Usually the weekends, sometimes weekends usually work, Sunday nights, like we would do practice and stuff. But it usually just depends on who's available and who's not and stuff.
Oh, and what about games? How often do you guys have games?
We just had one. We had a scrimmage called an inter-squad game, which basically we split our team in half, and we did a 3-on-3. We split it into our team colors, black and red, and Team Red came out on top, 17-15. That was Nick's team. But anyway, yeah, we're trying to get one more in before fall break so that hopefully the interest picks up after tonight, so that we can play before fall break. And then after fall break, we're going to reevaluate the interest and see if there are more teams that want to get on board.
Yeah, do you play other schools, or is it just like
It's just here. Our goal is to try to do intramural because we need a certain amount of people to do it and stuff. So, and also if we would play another school, the process in doing that takes over a year to do. So we were like, let's just try to make it our goal to do intramural and stuff and go from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a start, and it's a really good start. Do you have any upcoming games, or we're just sticking to practice right now?
Just sticking for practice for now. As I said, trying to get one more in before fall break. If not, then probably November at this point, because I know with my schedule, I am very busy in October with Bears games. So, so probably November, but stay tuned to our Instagram, Dominators Floor Hockey on Instagram, to stay up to date on game info and highlights and everything like that.
Yeah, and is there anything else that you want to say about your league?
Come out and play.
Find you on Instagram.
Yep, follow us on Instagram, come out and play. We'd love to have you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nick and Cameron, for coming out to talking about your floor hockey league. And unfortunately, that is all for this week's episode of YB Tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in next Monday at 7 for more. On behalf of myself and the entire YBTV crew, have an amazing weekend, Messiah University.